So here's a project that I've been working on for probably 3 months now or so. Haven't really been working on it, I guess. I kind of got all the parts and then I stopped working on it and haven't done anything actually. That's the honest truth. But I bought this canoe here a few months back and it had a whole bunch of holes in it. I fiberglassed it and a bunch of big spots everywhere. But as you can see, I have more planned for this thing, so try not to do too much babbling here. But I got this I don't know, 3.5 horsepower Harbor Freight motor, and you probably see where this video is going. So what we have here is a propeller that I made out of scratch. Cut that with a plasma cutter and bent it and then kind of balanced it on my lathe and stuff like that. And then I have just a whole bunch of miscellaneous parts, which you'll see what how they go here soon. I have the shaft and for the propeller to go on right here, and that's pretty much all I have done so far. So this tube is going to go through the hull of the boat underneath, and the shaft will get driven by the motor and go inside there with the bearings. That's enough on that, so let's get started and see if we can get this thing built. Alright, I got this thing all ready to throw together. I ended up putting a ducting ring on it for two reasons. One, to protect the propeller from anything I might hit, because the canoe is going to be going in shallow water, probably a lot. And number two, it makes it a lot more efficient and gives it better thrust. So enough said, let's get this thing thrown together. Pretty cool. It's not 100% balanced, but I mean, for what it is, I think it'll be good enough. Let's hook the drill up to it and see what it does quick. It's got a little bit of a wobble, but it's going to be in the water, so I mean, I think that'll be fine. So let's see what we got to do to get this thing mounted on the boat here next. All right, I got everything set in here about the way I want it to be. I didn't really want the engine so far forward, but it's not like it's 500 pounds. I mean, the thing only weighs like 15 pounds. And I need the shaft to be long, so that way, you know, the engine's not at a radical angle to get this, or the prop isn't at a radical angle. Everything's kind of straight. And ideally the prop would be back here, but when I sit in the boat, this is almost out of the water, and I want the prop in the water, so that's more important as far as I'm concerned, to have the prop in the water rather than out of the water, because what's it going to do out of the water? So I kind of marked some stuff where this is going to go, so let's flip this thing over and cut a big hole in the bottom of it. Alright, I got my approximate hole marked. I'm probably going to have to do quite a bit of trimming, but this is where the pipe's going to go through at an angle like this. Well, here it is. I got the propeller shaft all set in there. I made the hole a little bigger than I wanted to, but it's okay. It'll fill in. I got some strands of fiberglass cut. I got this all ground down nice with the 36 grit. I just cut a piece of a 2x4 in there for a wedge to kind of support that. And I got a ratchet strap holding it down. So let's get some fiberglass mixed up here and get this thing sealed up. Alright, we got her all fiberglassed in. Came out pretty good. Not really the best fiberglasser in the world, but it'll do the job. Thing is pretty strong, actually. Thing ain't going nowhere. Pretty cool. Came out alright. I'll have to do the other side just like I did this, but I'm gonna get the motor mounted first and figure out what I gotta do there. So I'm gonna get this thing flipped over and we'll get the motor set in it and see what it looks like. Alright, well there you have it. I got it all together. Only kind of half-assed together, but I got the motor bolted in. I had to put some nuts under them motor mounts to tip the motor to match the angle of the shaft, and I actually got it pretty close. Got my Lovejoy here all hooked up. Everything spins nice and free. And I'm gonna have to put another wooden wedge under this like I did on the back and fiberglass over this, but I don't have enough fiberglass or matting to do that right now, so I'm going to do that down the road. I put this bolt right here, that way when I'm done with this thing I can stick my little oil can in there and fill this tube up with oil. I'll show you why in a second. Because when this thing floats, this system isn't a sealed thing, so water's gonna get up in this bearing and stuff, and I figured when I get done with it, I'll just load oil in there and let it drip out, so that way you know, that way hopefully it'll prolong the life of that bearing. But the way I built this thing is everything's replaceable, so if the bearing goes bad, it's just a hardware store thing, I could just replace it. I made it so I can replace the prop easy or put different ones on there. Obviously this thing needs a lot of finishing up, but I'm gonna test it first. But let's go ahead and start this thing up dry and see what it does. Alright, as you can see, everything seems to work pretty smooth. It's got some vibrations, but it's definitely not a precise piece of machinery. It's going to need a little bit of TLC yet. Just to give everybody an idea, that's kind of where the seat is going to go. Actually, I'll probably just use this chair. Probably somewhere's around here. You know, about towards the back. I mean, there's enough room for like 2 or 3 people in here easily. And then the throttle's here, but eventually I'll probably make something with a cable and put it back here. And as far as steering it goes, I'm just going to use the paddles, you know, the paddle or whatever, just to steer it in one side or the other, just to slow one side or the other down. I think putting a rudder on it is just asking for trouble. Just one more thing to get broken off, and one more opportunity for a leak to occur. So I just want to keep this thing simple, you know, and I want to another thing I did is I made it so I can put this motor on and take it off really easy, because I don't really have the room to store this thing, so it's going to be stored outside upside down, and obviously you can't really store this motor upside down unless you drained all the fluids out of it every time. So when I'm done using it, I'm just gonna pop these 4 bolts off, and this will just slide right apart, and then I can put the motor someplace dry and then just flip the canoe over and store it, and it'll be ready to go for the next time. So I'm not really sure if I'm gonna paint this thing or what I'm gonna do. So it's pretty ugly, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm sorry to say that there's not going to be any testing done in this video. This is just the build, and I'm going to do a couple more things to it as I explained off camera here, just because it's getting dark and I got to take this motor apart, or this motor off, and store it somewheres. So the testing's probably going to be done within a week or 2, hopefully, when I can get the time to go down to the river or somewheres with a body of water, so I can actually test this thing out. So yeah, this is just the build. So next time you see this boat, we're going to be in the water with it, and hopefully having some fun going about 300 miles an hour, and seeing how fast we can get this thing going. I can't imagine it's going to go super fast, but I bet you it'll go pretty good. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed watching me build this thing, and stay tuned for the test video of this, and we'll go out and have some fun with it together. And until then, thanks for watching.